Welcome to Life Lessons. We would like to invite you all in to join us in our little discussion. We're going to have a discussion today about who we are. I'm going to start with the discussion to tell you a little bit about myself and who I am. My name is Crystal. I am a beautiful, wonderfully made by God person, spiritual. I like to enjoy life, have fun, be with my family and my friends. I have 2 children. I have 3 grandchildren. And I'm just excited about being here today, just to share a part of me with you and with my comrades, my sisters. Hey guys. Hi, Tracy. Hi,
Hey,
Renee.
Hey,
How
hi
you
Crystal.
Chris.
doing?
Hi
Hey,
Renee.
hey, Tracy.
So we're going to have a good time and we're going to enjoy ourselves and we're going to just let you in on us and who we are and what we stand for. We stand with power. We stand in truth. We stand in love. We stand in need. And we are just
Definitely.
women who are here to encourage ourselves, each other, and others. So we hope that you enjoy what we are going to discuss on tonight. And in the end, we're going to offer out some questions as we go on to the podcast. And as we begin to evolve and this thing begins to grow, then the platform is going to grow even more. So we would
Yes.
like you all to be a part of what we're going to do as we move on into the future. So we are very excited that you're here taking your time out to come on and join us and listen to us. And we hope that whatever it is that we're saying to you, that you can be encouraged by it and you can take something from it that it could make your life more enjoyable or whatever it is going to do for you. So, guys, I'm excited. This is our
I
first
am too.
episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am too.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
very excited. Very
Yes,
excited.
yes.
It's a
Okay.
pretty good topic, too. Who we are.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. Um, you know, who we are prior to us coming on today, I was even thinking about it like, wow, who am I? And I think Crystal really hit, the nail on the head, with talking about, you know, how we can possibly inspire you guys, how we can, possibly, share, our experiences in life. And maybe it can help you, help a family member or encourage you. And so we are excited to
Mm.
be here to do this. We are women of a particular age. And so we've been there, we've done it, we've learned from it, still learning from some, and we definitely, want to take this journey with you so that as we walk through it, you're walking with us. And so we are definitely excited to be here. It's a long time coming. We've been talking about it for some time, and
Mm.
now it is happening. And so we are glad. A little bit about me. I am Tracy. Crystal did share beautifully and wonderfully made by God. I am a mother as well. I am a professional woman. I am an educated woman, not just academically, but just in life itself,
Mm. Mm.
hence life's lessons,
Lessons.
you know.
Here we
So,
go. I get
you
some on
know,
that. I'll get some on that.
here we go. Let's go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
And I am divorced. I'm a divorced mother of 4. I'm happily divorced. Uh, and yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy, just doing what we do. And that's like, as Crystal would say, a servant's heart. So by any way that I can do that, any way that we can do it. And it's funny because each and every one of us, we always given something.
Yeah.
And so I think and believe that this is divinely created by God. What you think about that, Renee?
Well, thank you, Tracy. And so I happen to think a lot about that actually. And thank you for asking. So as Tracy mentioned, we've been thinking about this for some time, and I'm Renee, and affectionately known as Nene. Everybody that knows me or Nay or So I'm the one that's kind of like uh you know I'm a little rough around the edges. um but I'm delivered today,
Love it.
and
Amen.
I'm very, very fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm
Hmm.
a minister of prayer, and that is something that when we share later on, I didn't really know, but I've been praying. And ironically, I was sent a picture today from my one of my brothers. I am prideful that I have 5 brothers, and I have 3 sons. Well, one is a surrogate, 2 by birth, and 1 daughter. And I received a picture today that was a reflection of my mother, myself, a cousin, and my dad. And when I think about that, like when you ask that question, Crystal, who we are, um, that's all I have memories of is just like who am I? Like, and it always goes back to like when I was a little girl. And so when I saw this physical picture today, I would say I was about 7 or 8. And it's funny because Tracy and I have been friends, and Crystal, um, Tracy said we're of a certain age. And so Tracy and
Particular.
I know each other from back then. And then Crystal paralleled Tracy maybe close to maybe 3 years or so to a decade before I met her in their travels and becoming sisters. And so it's been, this wonderful kind of meshing sisterhood over all these years. And so when I saw the picture, I was like, wow. And today is the first airing of our what we call the pilot setting of our podcast, Life
Wow.
Lessons.
Yeah.
And when I
Wow.
tell you that when I think about like who am I? And I'm a mother, first I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm an aunt, as I mentioned, I'm a minister, I'm a grandmother of 7 grandchildren, and I'm a great aunt, and all these things like encompass. But I'd like to think that if I had to really reflect, ladies, I'm a professional woman. Um, I have gone through the University of Hard Knocks. I'm
Mm,
from Harlem,
that's good right
and
there.
so
Yeah.
um, that's where hence comes the rough edges, if you will. But I'm refined today because of who I am as a professional. I'm a mental health professional. I'm a clinical therapist, and I'm very proud that in my travels, it's almost like wow, it went that fast. But as I look and I see these pockets of life, like I can see there's this picture that Tracy has, and Crystal and her standing up like, like this. And then me and Tracy, we got this picture where we like this, we've always been, you know, not really maybe absorbing the beauty part. Maybe everybody else saw that in us, but I know that I doggone sure didn't see it.
You
And
got
so
that
for
right.
today, I could say I'm a beautiful,
Yes.
Hmm.
Black,
Hmm.
strong,
Hmm.
colorful Indian woman that, albeit the edges, without the edges, I wouldn't be me.
That's
Right.
right.
Like,
Nothing wrong with
Right.
the edges, girl. Ain't nothing wrong with the edges.
Right.
ain't nothing wrong with the little
Right.
edges. And
And
No,
we're
listen,
not talking
kids
sorry.
about
growing
hair
up,
edges.
these
No, no.
kids don't know
You're not
about
talking
no
about hair
edges now.
edges,
They
right?
don't know nothing
Okay.
about no edges. They don't know nothing about no edges, okay? They don't know nothing about no edges, Chris. You know what I'm saying with the
Yeah,
swirl on the side. But I thank you, Tracy, for and Crystal for giving me the opportunity just to share just that little bit, because as we grow, like I love what Crystal said, and this thing expands and it goes on
Right.
to popular demand, which we believed as women when we were making the decision of like, what are we going to name it? What's going to come? And it was like, whoa, life lessons. Like, that's all we ever talk about. And Tracy was kind of gently, as she's always been the steerer of sorts, telling us what to do. And I'll let Crystal
Yeah,
share on that
yeah.
part. I've always been, the fighter and the puncher, but Tracy be like the one that's telling her, now you make sure you punch in the gut, you make sure you clip in the jaw. Tracy always was the one. And
Yeah,
so
I
she
agree.
was
I agree, Renee.
right? She was reminding us that, now listen, now we need to make sure that, we keep it real and authentic. And it's really amazing when she got this thought to do this, and it just came together as life lessons. And she said, how else can we do this if we don't be our true selves? And so I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. Like, what does that mean for you, sister? Like, Tracy, like, speak to
Well,
it about the inception of life lessons.
well, it doesn't mean me over here telling people what to do. I tell you that. It doesn't mean
Wink,
that.
wink.
Doesn't mean that. But it's funny. Um, we have an episode coming up regarding our purpose, and I'll get more into details in that episode. But it's just funny how I definitely was thinking about, how can we share with all of the pain, right? And anguish and excitement,
Mm-hmm.
sadness and disappointments. How can we share that with other people, to help them? Because that's what God wants us to do, right? He wants us to reach out and help others.
Right.
And it's funny because when I mentioned it to Renee, she was like, "Oh my goodness, I was thinking the same thing." Crystal, not so much. She was like, "Well, I'll be there," but now she's on board. But Renee was like, "Oh my goodness, I was thinking the same thing," and usually it's funny because, what I have in common with these two ladies is parallel experiences.
Absolutely.
And I know that, people, when you think of soulmates, you think of a relationship with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can actually be with women, your friends, and it doesn't have to be sexual.
Right.
It is spiritual, right?
Yes.
Soul is a spirit. And so I know that I have soulmates, and their names, is Renee and Crystal. So, and it's funny because our lives is always parallel, and it's amazing. We don't have to see each other.
Yeah.
But the minute we start talking, we're almost talking about similar things.
Yes.
And so if we're talking about these things, imagine what others, are talking about. So, but I just want you guys to be clear. I am not that girl. I'm sorry, Crystal. Go ahead. You say what? I just had to.
Well, I was just saying, that's sisterhood. You know what I mean? And just to piggyback off, Renee, you just have a persuasive way about yourself, and you,
Thank you.
and you can attest to this too, Renee, that you persuaded us to do these things, so, so it wasn't like a bullying thing, but Renee would call herself gullible, and I was just like, okay, well, if you want to do it. And we used to do little things. I'm going to share this little story about like that one, Tracy. I'm going to share the one about the bus. So we would always go to New York. I'm from Philadelphia, and we both wind up in the same place, which is in New Jersey. So we would always either go to Philadelphia and hang out, or we would go to New York and hang out, because where we lived was just too country for both of us, because we're used to the city life.
Right, the city girls, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So anyway, we were on our way to New York, and sometimes we didn't always have enough money. Well, Tracy didn't have enough money, and so we used to try to find ways to get to wherever we're going. And she always has something going on, some old type of scheme or something going on. So we go on a bus. We'll get a ticket to one place because it was cheaper, opposed to getting the ticket to go to New York. So we would have to act like we was asleep on the bus. So Tracy, of course, with her good acting self, she like, I'm sitting there scared to death, thinking we're going to get caught because I was like not really a goody two shoe, but I didn't do stuff against the grain, if you will. She used to be so mad at me because she said my eyes was jumping and my heart is pounding and I'm laughing, and she be hitting me in the back of the head. You're supposed to be asleep. You're gonna get us thrown off the bus. So those was the things that she would do to get me to do something, and I would always go along with her because I'm a ride or die. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm a
you
ride or
are.
die.
You are.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
You
You know,
are.
I'm gonna roll with you, you know, and if we get in trouble, we're gonna get in trouble together. If we're
Right.
That's
gonna
true.
fight, we're gonna fight together. If we're gonna
Right.
get a beating, we're gonna get a beating together. We're not
Right.
gonna throw each
Yeah,
other under
yeah.
the bus. Okay?
Right.
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 We're gonna do
No
this
Right.
pun
thing
intended.
together,
Right.
right?
Right. No pun intended.
Right.
Right. Right. But I think that I mean I we laugh. I mean if y'all stay with us, which we hope you do, which I think you will. I I know that when I think of, if I had to truly say like who I am today, it is totally in part to this sisterhood. Because as Tracy said, I just have to elaborate on that part about the soulish, and we always gotta, look each other in the eye or be on the phone. And this was when the cord was stretching way back over here, and we'd be like, we not that girl, right? But
Right.
I love her so deeply. And when we would come back together, we've been married together and then we divorced together. Then we
Mhm.
was, ripping and running together. Then we be dancing together. Then we hook up together. Then we separate together. Then we come back together. We do ministry together. Now, I mean, when you start thinking in terms of like, when I think about like who I am today, our mothers were friends, right?
Mhm.
And, my first marriage, my marriage to my children's father,
Breathe.
anywho.
Breathe.
Whew. Okay. Her father did the ceremony. Okay. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
when we think about like all of those times,
Yeah.
that really framed and shaped, who I am, and a great part of
Yeah.
endearing with friendships, because let me tell you, ain't nobody gonna be Tracy friend like I'm gonna be Tracy friend. So don't,
Right.
that's how it
Right.
was. And you say ride or die, Chris, that's how it was.
Right.
We done pulled, all kind of roll ups, if you will. And this was when it was, with the two piece. And I was just
Right.
telling Tracy the other day, I ain't never do no whole bunch of talking. It wasn't gonna be, no whole bunch of talking.
That's right.
And all of that came from growing up on the 13th floor. Go ahead, Renee,
Mhm.
go ahead, Renee. And I'd be like, Renee, I can't. She'd be like, Renee, you better, And I got the guts of
That there.
enough
That right there,
that,
Renee.
you know what I mean? Come on, let's keep it real, Trey. You know you did. She would be like, and I got to call
Oh.
one name. Remember C on the 13th floor.
Mhm.
And I was so scared. And I'll tell you right now that I was
Yeah.
like, eyes closed, like, I don't care. Because you know what? If Tracy said do it, it was going to get done. I moved all the way out of state because Tracy said, you know,
Don't even.
and it's
No,
the
don't even
truth.
try it.
And this is just what, when you love somebody and you trust their word, and I look at all of the, the parallels of life and the lessons of life that has come from that, is that we endured all of that time together. And
Mhm.
like Tracy said, whether or not we was living next door to each other, or whether or not we was living in states apart,
Mm.
um you all right? God bless you.
Yes. Mhm.
Bless you.
Thank you.
We
I was trying
still
to keep it
always
on the
come
low.
back, and you know and here we are. And like that is really huge for me. And I just have to say this tidbit. When Crystal, I've always heard Crystal this and Chris that and Chris. And so I was like, who is this Crystal? And Tracy's like, oh, you met her. And my eyebrow be up like, no, I didn't. I don't know who this Chris
Mhm.
is, right? But I tell you, and I say now it's got to be, a good years of that journey between, us
Right.
now, right? Because I
Right.
know you got like, more than decades,
Right. Right.
it's compiling decades, you know what
Right.
I mean? So, and it's been good because where I see it, we're both on either side of Tracy. And now in this life today, in this present season, Crystal is on the other side of me and Tracy. And so it is a beautiful thing that what I meant to say earlier, if that wasn't clear, of how this unity of us together has meshed, and we pray together, we fight together, we cry together, we laugh, we sing, we dance. And it is a true definition of, of what I believe is sisterhood. So when I say, who am I, that is really, in my mind, it's a great synopsis of the definition of why we came together to do this podcast, and why we know it is the foundation obviously is driven by the Holy Spirit, yes, but it's driven by a foundation of friendship and love and sisterhood, and building and really expounding on looking back and seeing how much we've accomplished in our life lessons. Because I don't think I'll do any of those things ever again. Tracy can't get me to punch nobody in the face today.
Well,
I'm lying.
know,
Lying. One left
well,
arm is all, I don't have it no more, but I still got the right. And I'm like, okay, me and Tracy said, if I have to, I'm gonna be in pain for 72 days in a row if I gotta lift this left arm. But you know what? My girl called on me to lift that arm. I'm gonna have to do it. That's all that said to that, right?
well, you know what? Let me just tell you, I
Well
love you
said, Renee.
dearly. And just like you would be there for me, I will definitely be there for you. But let me just, full disclosure, guys, and everyone who's listening, because they're paying me out to be some crazy girl. With Renee, she was such a sweet soul that she was a little gullible. She was, because she was very young and just very sweet. And we were very close. I was always that person that was very protective.
Still
Um,
is.
still am, yeah, very
Yeah.
protective.
Yes.
I don't like anyone picking on someone, so I'm like an advocate for the underdog. And I was not even a buck, soaking wet during this time. I was really skinny, but I just had that fire in my belly for protecting people that I love and people that I knew loved me. And so there was some little, catty issues going on as a child. And Renee was just like, oh. And I'm like, you better, head out, you better punch in her face. And I was doing that because I wanted her to stand up for herself. I wanted her to be stronger. And that's why I was doing that, because I wanted her to be stronger. You know what I mean? And not let anyone take advantage of her or anything like that, because she was my sister and I was protecting my sister.
That's true.
That's right.
With, Crystal, she just talking. She's just talking, but with Crystal, and especially with us doing what we used to do, I used to like to have fun. And I just didn't want to be just bored. Have you ever felt bored and tired of doing the same thing? So I was all about the adventure. Crystal was slightly scary about, doing adventures. But like she said, she was a ride or die. So she was like, all right, I'll go. The thing is, I'm just happy we never got caught, because she wasn't a great actress at all. And she would blink her eyes or start laughing. And I'm like, shut up, So but it was all out of fun. It was all in fun, you know what I mean? And so but again, it was really everything that I've done with my sisters, and they are my sisters. It was just about adventure, loving, being protective of one another, holding each other down. And I remember Renee was just sharing about us getting married, getting divorced, and all of that. And that's one of the fond memories, that I have with Renee, a very profound memory. Like I spoke about earlier, was parallel. We got divorced around the same time, and we were both just so elated. And that's an understatement, because we were just happy to be free. Huh?
You notice I ain't saying nothing about Marriage.
Well, we're gonna talk about all of that in our episodes. Believe me.
Yes, we will.
Guys, stick with us. You're gonna hear some juice.
Mm.
But,
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hear
but
too much about me in marriage. I'm currently still wink wink.
so that okay. So,
So
but
I'm
you know
not.
what?
So
But
I
that's
won't be
your
saying
journey.
too much about that because we want to keep it clean. We want to keep it spiritual. We want to keep it nice.
Well, we want to
Yeah.
keep it real too. So
Yeah. So that's
That's
why
right.
I'm
you
gonna
know.
shut up. I'm gonna
No,
just
that's
chime in a
right.
little bit.
That's
But
right, Renee.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right.
but
But we want to keep it real too.
but one thing about me, and I'm sitting here listening to y'all stories when you guys were younger. Me, I'm always a peacemaker because I am that type of person. I like to keep the peace. You know what I mean? So I was I can always give that balance in any situation that we're in. You know what I mean? Because that's just my spirit. I don't like confrontation. I don't like, nobody to be sad or to be, have negative energy, if you will. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because we're here to shine a light in a dark place.
Mm.
So that's just always been my makeup. So um not that I was afraid or anything like that, because frankly, I just didn't care. I was one of those, you could say whatever you want, you can feel however you want. I respect that, and that's okay. But I'm not going to get into a tiff with you about how you feel because you can feel however you want. That is your prerogative. You know what I mean? But I'm still the peacemaker. And I think so between the three of us, that's the balance right there, where you guys was always ready to fight. Oh, I would fight, but that wasn't my makeup because I felt like I was just too beautiful to fight. You're not scratching up my face. And matter of fact, not even so much that. Fighting to me was stupid. What are you fighting for? It
Well,
didn't make it really didn't make sense to me unless you put your hands on me, then we have a reason to fight. But just to talk, like you said, all that talking, you can talk, it's your mouth, say what you want, freedom of speech, say what you want, I don't care. As long as you say it over there, as long as you don't touch me, then we don't have an issue. So I think that, that's the balance, or where Tracy is in the middle, where she had you, the boom, 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 and me. Come on, Tracy, sticks and stones, which she hates me to say that. You want to take one of those sticks and pick them up and that's what
Yeah, because some of the things that I would see happening, and people would be bold.
it
Renee,
did
they
not
would be
bother me.
bold, in front of her face, in high school.
yeah.
And it would blow my mind because they would be talking about her in her face. And I'm like, Chris, like I said, I was protective. Chris, come on,
She
what's
used to
going
be so
on?
mad at me.
Oh, sticks and stones. And it used to drive me insane. Sticks and stones. And they're just talking about you and laughing at you in your face. You better take one of those sticks and hit them upside their head. And so that's what she's talking about. But quickly, I just wanted to go back to what I was saying um, with Renee and the divorce, because I thought that it was so profound. I still think it's profound, right? And it shows how parallel our lives are. That we both got divorced, but we didn't see each other. We both moved back to New York from living down south with our ex-husbands. And so we didn't see each other for a while. And then, of course, we met up, and hanging out. And we were at a lounge, and it was so crowded, and it was dark, and it was so many people. And I think she had called me and said, I'm here. And I was so excited because I didn't see her in so long, and I had so much to tell her. And she's walked in, and it was this song that came on, and we both were so excited. It was like on the flip side of Color Purple when they running into each other
Yeah.
crying. It
Yeah.
was an R&B song,
Yeah.
and we just was like, I was just like excited, dancing towards each other, just dancing and being so happy to be free.
Right.
We were happy to be free, and we were happy that we saw each other, and we were happy that we were just sharing and celebrating together. So that
Yes.
was very profound, and
That was
always
nice.
will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning
And that's our
something.
song. It's a beautiful, and the song, it's it's a popular song, but every time I hear that, I can't help. And that's
Yeah.
how Tracy and I are. We've always been, with our growing up, it was always the music. And
Yeah.
so, and we still connect that way, with the music and, so much that I rely on my, beefed up playlist because I know that Tracy gonna have songs that I, don't have. And then she gonna be like, it's a competition and she
Right.
always wins because she always ends up having, but it'd be a couple
Right.
in there that I'd be like, okay, I got this jam too.
Right.
I did
Yeah.
turn on to
Yeah.
a couple of songs, but
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that, it's just so like I love that word profound because, you know, in developing as a woman, today, and as I recognize all of those trials and all those errors, and no, I wasn't a perfect mom. No, I wasn't, I'd like to think I was a perfect wife, though. That I'm not going to hang, I'm hanging my bonnet on that. I was a very good wife and, but, an excellent sister, excellent daughter, all those things. But the womanhood, that breakout, that's what that was. It was like a breakout song, from all of the the abuse and all of the things that it was almost like we were screaming to the world like, you didn't see all this stuff that we've been going through. Well, we got each other and we're gonna dance until the night away. We're gonna dance
Mhm.
until the sun come up. And
Mhm.
we had a permanent chaperone, so
Mhm.
we go wherever we wanted to go throughout the city,
Mhm.
and so we never was without good company. And then, so we knew that we was going to be protected.
Mhm.
And so that was that part, and that's the part that I think that, what it represents for us too, as we look at who we are, because we're all professional women, we all are women of certain age, we all have children, and we all have extensions of our families, and our families love us, they depend upon us. But what I wanted to reflect back on was the fact of how, I grew up. Like I just told Tracy that I came to New York last weekend and I went on the ferry boat, and it was an incident that I know that maybe, that old Renee would have cowered and been in a corner. I mean, emotionally, this tyranny that I've always had to go through and come up out of. And always with Tracy, when she says we have so much to tell each other because we did, and we be counting all of the time somebody did us something. Well, now, you know what? I told Tracy the other day, that little girl's not here no more. You know what? She's gone. You know, I'm a grown but woman. You hear me? And with all of that said, those experiences did help to shape who I am today. When you ask me who am I, or who we are, if we have to explain it to someone, the point of it is that I've taken the life lessons, and that is a pun intended, to
Mhm.
making sure that, you know, I not only, did it and was able to do it for myself, and having such a beauty and a friend and a sister and Tracy, and then having that extend the wing. It's like, that's how I see it. It's like the wing. So when she's in the middle, then it's me and Chris. Or if I'm in the middle, then it's her and Tracy. Or if Tracy's in the middle, then it's me and Chris. Like it's always, that wing. And that's how, birds fly. And and that's always been my mantra. Like birds fly, but eagles soar. And if you ever look at an
Mm.
eagle, the way the
Mhm.
eagle does, the eagle
Mhm.
soars,
Yes.
right? That eagle
Mhm.
don't be flapping his wing, going on, and getting all
Right.
that.
Right.
You getting all extra with it. It just do a couple of
Right.
flaps, well, shoot, and
Yes.
that's what happens
Yeah.
for me in this lifetime right now, in the present day. It's just a glide, and it's a glide. I remember that when I made, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna be gliding now, right? It's no more
Mhm.
fight, it's no more
Right.
struggle. I mean, yeah, we have our everyday struggles,
Right.
we have our everyday challenges, but when I'm looking at in this sisterhood and what I want for other women, to find in themselves when they're connecting with either one of us or all three of us, because it's going to get deep and heavy. I mean, we just kicking it right now,
Right.
because we know who we are. But I think if you continue to listen, and I know if you continue to listen to life lessons, you're going to really get to know us really well.
Mhm.
And, because it's just too much to tell in a 45-minute segment. But I know that for me, when I founded my organization, Courage to Change, it started out as a ministry. And I was really interested in souls, like Tracy said, we're souls, right? And so we're flesh, we're made up of a soul. And then later on, it evolved to, and I, now tutor, leadership, mentor, but that's always been the premise. Like it takes courage to change. And one thing that I can say about these two women that I have watched them change, they've made the effort to change it. We're talking about, adolescence and being, children and, being young women. We are women of a certain age now. So we have a standard, and we take our business for real. Don't mess with our children. Don't mess with our families, right? Don't mess with our communities. These are the things that we stand for. And that's what I'm very grateful today about, because we stand for something and we don't just fall for anything. And even though Malcolm X may have said it, it's really not a cliche if you apply it, to your everyday life and your lifestyle. And so I think and know that what's happened for me in this sisterhood and saying who I am, I've been able to create a lifestyle for myself that not only I can do that for me, but I could do it for my daughter. I do it for the young women that I mentor, the ones that I have mentored, and I'm very glad that when I reflect and I say, oh, my friend, and then, and I talk about it, oh, you know what? Sometimes it's interchangeable. My friend I grew up with, or my sister, or, or my homegirl, or, but it's always, been reflective of that childhood friend, Tracy. And I was able to be blessed to have, a 2 for 1. You ever get a ticket? They talk about a bus ride with a ticket. I know how to get a 2 for 1 too, but yeah, I got a 2 for 1 with Chris, so that's how I
Oh,
see
that
it.
was
That's good.
awesome.
That
That
was
was,
good. Yeah, very well put. Yeah, very well said.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what we're doing. Life lessons. We need these
yeah,
ladies
Yeah,
out here to
absolutely.
know,
yeah,
because we ain't the
that's
thick of
it.
it for nothing, right? We ain't
Yeah,
nobody is not gonna,
Correct.
you know, we got another 50 to go. We ain't
I
nobody
know
leaving
that's
no time
right.
Absolutely.
soon,
I
right?
know that's right. I know that's right.
Right. Ain't
Yeah,
nobody going nowhere, no time soon.
Hmm.
yeah. The funny thing about it to me too, though, as you were talking, and I'm like thinking, so a lot of times, you know, you and I are so much alike, too much alike, that when you're too much like someone, you're gonna have some clashes here and there.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about us is that we come together, wrong or right. We come together, we work it out, we talk it out, we take a break, we put each other on ice, whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
With Crystal, she talked about how she don't care. She's really calm and all these things. And honestly, I have to say that she has been that way now. The older she got, that's a different story. But when she was, yeah, but you know, looking at the trio, for me it works, and it works
Mm.
because Crystal used to be the calm one. And so, when I would be on 100, she would help me to come down, back to earth, if you will, right? She would have me come back to at least a 10,
Mm-hmm.
right? Renee is like me. All right, let's do it. What? Okay, let's go. And so when you have the two mix, right? You have the two, it really helps you, I think. I think it helps me, just to have a balance. And especially now that we are women of a particular age, it's not like that anymore, right?
Right.
But now we help each other through challenges
Mm.
in life. We
That's
help
it.
each other.
That's
And
it.
even if we get frustrated, right, we can
Hmm.
still talk through it, right?
Mm.
We're calmer, we're more logical.
Mm.
And that, again, it comes from your walk in life. It comes from that. It comes from your ups and your downs. It comes from self-assessment. How can I better myself? It comes from all of that. It comes from the love of your friends, right?
Hmm.
And
Right.
your sisters, who can really share with you, or like pull your collar and say, maybe you need to
Right.
revisit this.
Right.
And then you take that in
Right.
and then you try to self-assess honestly, right? Because it's all about truth. I believe Crystal said truth. Crystal Renee said something about truth earlier. And it's the truth, right? It is, no pun intended, but
Right.
because you really have to reflect on who you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who you are, and you know what you can do to change
Mm-hmm.
things that need to be changed, your
Mm-hmm.
strength and your
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses, and how can you change your weaknesses to a strength, and you know what can you do to continue you know God's purpose in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we continue to do that, and the wonderful thing about it is we have company, we have you, we have
Right.
you, our audience, that can walk with us now, right? The difference is that we was just us three, but now we have you to listen to us. And even if you have comments, hopefully you'll share them. If you have questions, hopefully you'll share them. Because that's what we are right now. We are opening up our book, opening up our book about our lives.
Mm.
And we hope that you listen to the audio, right? Because they have, books in audio now, right? So
Yeah.
look at us that way. Look
Mm-hmm.
at the map, the instruction, if you will, the guide, you know, the the alternatives. You can look at all of that. Um, and hopefully we can help you, you know.
Wonderful. Well, I'm very excited about all of this. And again, who we are. We are strong women who have stood the test of times. And
Mm,
surely we still have more times ahead of us and adversities, I'm sure. But I think as women of a particular age, as Tracy always say,
Mm-hmm.
we handle it now with grace, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of others, of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's a great thing to have a sisterhood, like Tracy said. We're not going to always agree. It's just like you can't choose the family you're in. You have to love the people, the family that you're in, right, wrong, or indifferent. And what makes things special with love, we're able to say, hey, and should be able to receive it because it's coming from a place of love. Even if
Yes.
you don't agree with it, but it's coming from a place of love. And sometimes we can't see ourselves. It take our sisters or someone else to see us, to see you. You know what I mean? So sometimes we need to know because if we don't know, how can we fix it? How can we make it better? How can we make that change? So I just hope that everyone that's listening out there can feel our hearts, can feel our passion, and feel our love for each other and for you as you continue to listen to this podcast because it is going to come straight from the heart and from the gut. So,
Wow. One thing that they didn't share, which I thought I'd get through it, is that I was always the emotional one, right? And so I would always, cry. Is why, there was a thing behind that when Tracy would see me cry because I was very emotional and moved to tears a lot because I didn't understand. But, I've come to understand that, we're going to get hurt and it's okay. But I've also come to understand that when you love as deeply as the way that we love and we have loved and we continue to love, that, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, it's just not big enough, right? And that's really what this is all about is that, if over the course of, and I can say it, Centennial is huge, when you start putting all the years together. and looking at us together and combine wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and like Chris was saying, and like the adversities and all of the experiences that we've come through. um it's hard for me not to get emotional at this part of the segment of life lessons. And the foundation of this podcast is going to be and will be built upon that precept, and understanding what that means for us individually, collectively, and like Tracy said, and for you, because that's really what it's all about. It's about, what can we say? We'll never know if it's, this one or the thousandth episode from now. But we hope and pray that wherever you are, that you will come to understand that that's where you build your foundation on. You build it on peace, love, happiness, joy, understanding, long suffering, and then it loops back around again. And then you go again: love, peace, joy, understanding, faith, you know, and knowing that you have with us, there's no question that's a dumb question. And I know I'm a professional, in that way, and you hear that all the time. No question is a dumb question. Well, no, truthfully, there is no question that's a dumb question with us. And if we don't know the answer, then we'll find the answer out for you. And if you want to know topics, if you want to discuss things, we look forward to hearing from you. And so, without further ado, we're gonna have to say, farewell for now. And we hope that you enjoy the introduction to our podcast, Life Lessons, and hope that you um, will join us, and by viewing us on YouTube and on SoundCloud, and hit the like buttons, and you can start now by searching for us and looking for us. It's Life Lessons, Tracy, Crystal, and Renee. And we look forward to answering your questions, and learning more about you, and hearing from you, and laughing with you, and crying with you eventually. Remember, I said that. And figuring some things out together. Yeah, because I know we as women, we can do it. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Before I forget, I'm sorry. So next up will be, and you can look for that, our next episode will be on our purpose. And so if you think this was fun, come and see what we have to talk about on our next episode, part 2. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy.
Thank you.
So love you, girl.
Bye.
Love you
All right,
too.
ladies.